If you're working in After Effects, one thing you'll probably have to do is update your files, your assets as you go along. A lot of times you'll start with one file and have it be replaced by a newer version. Sometimes the client wants changes. And so this video is just about how to kind of update your files within your animation. I'm going to start with one example first. It's a basic logo animation. I can let this play. And you'll see I've already added some keyframes on it. You know, it's pretty simple. If I wanted to change this out, I would ideally just want to swap in a new asset right here for the logo, and not have to keyframe everything. So I'm going to look at sort of the assets that I've downloaded. I have a logo that's black and I have a logo that's in color. And let's say the request was to use the color version instead of the black and white version. So you can see that I've got these different layers. I'm going to just double click on it so you can see this is what that color logo is. And what I can do is if I select the layer down here, it says the logo black. And if I hold down Option, click and drag, I should just be able to replace it. So you want to select the layer and then click Option, click and drag. And now I've retained the keyframes and things like that, but I just have the new logo version there. So that's one example. So this technique is really helpful if I just want to replace the footage, let's say in one composition. If I wanted to, let me undo this real quick. If I wanted to, let's say I use the same logo in a bunch of different compositions, and if I wanted to update them all, what I could do is click on the layer in my projects panel, right click, and I could just go to replace the footage. So I could find, let's say, like this file right here, the color logo version, and replace it. The thing with that is like that is going to replace every instance of this. So if I had this in a bunch of different compositions, it would get updated there. If I only, let's say, wanted to change it in this one composition, then the method I showed earlier would probably be the better way to do it. Here's a similar example of a situation where I might want to replace some footage. Let's say I have some rough storyboards to begin with. They're just black and white, and I want to update them with new design boards as they're getting made. Again, I could import them into my project and then select each layer. Whoops. Select each layer, hold Option and click and drag the new asset onto it. But in this case, I want to just show you I could do that thing again where I replace the footage. Again, this would replace all instances of the file. So I'm going to grab some newer footage right here. Here's my, let's say, my newer storyboard or design board. And I'm just going to go and replace the footage this way, just so you can see me going through and showing you that it actually works. So the one last frame, we'll bring that in. So all those frames or changes I've been making in design, hopefully now I can see the result in my animatic. And as new frames come in, I can just swap them out this way. We can also replace and reload footage layer by layer if we have an Illustrator or a Photoshop file. So I want to go over how to do that. Here's a previous example. I have sort of an underwater scene with a fish, and let's say I just want to change the color of this fish, right? Well, I wanted to show kind of how that would work. You can see all the different layers here that are separated out once I imported that scene as a composition. So what we can do is just focus on one layer and bring that in. I'm going to go over to Illustrator and just show. I have two versions just because I wanted to save these out, but you could also save this, make the change here and save it, and it could reload or be reflected in the file. But what I want to do is just recolor this triangle fish. You can see I just clicked on it and changed the color. It's triangle fish. So what I want to do is swap out this triangle fish layer for the one in this file. And we can go back into our After Effects, and I'm going to find that layer, triangle fish. Let's I'm going to replace the footage. And when we click on that file, we can choose the layer. So here's the updated scene. I'm going to open that, and then it's going to ask me which layer, or if I want to get the merge layers. But I can pick the actual layer I want. So I can grab, let's see, triangle fish, update that, and we should see the new version in there. So now we have that yellow fish, just like I said. I'm going to undo that, and I just wanted to show you, if you do make changes in the original file, this is the original link file. Let's just try changing the color, and I just wanted to show kind of what could happen. Let's just make a little darker color. Let's save that, and let's see if that change will be reflected. So it hasn't been updated yet, but if we go to reload the footage, we should be able to load that new version. And based off of that, it may pull the new. And now you can see that update has been made. So we can also force it to reload footage if you make any changes in the original source file.